From Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, this is the Sunbelt College Baseball Summer League featured game. Hello, this is Alan Scott here to webcast the soon-to-start game between the Rincon Knights and their second night in a row in the stadium, by the way, and the league-leading Aztecs. Boy, it was quite a game last night with the Knights scoring 7 runs over the last 2 innings to win 8-7 over the Tucson champs. It was the non-starters who played a big role in the win. 6 players came off the bench for the Knights to collect 3 hits, 2 walks, and a sacrifice RBI flyout to win it. It didn't look like it could happen as Emilio Gonzalez came in and gave up 2 runs in relief in the 7th inning, but he came back to throw 2 innings of shutout ball to help get the win. I would be totally amiss if I didn't mention the lights-out pitching performance by Cole Altier of the champs. He went 7 full innings, giving up only 1 run on 3 hits, walking none while striking out 10. He left the game leading 7-1, only to watch his teammates lose it 8-7. Well, all of that aside, the 6th-place Knights will have their work cut out for them against the league-leading Aztecs tonight. Yes, the Knights have put 2 wins together, but the Aztecs are on a 6-game win streak and have beaten the Knights 15-2, 14-0, and 9-3 on the season. Now looking towards the other action that we have out in the South Fields, the Old Pueblo Kings will be trying to snap a 6-game losing streak against the Cochise Stars, and the Tucson Champs will try to rebound against the BNL Rockets, both teams coming off of losses. Right after this, I'll check out game results from Tuesday, look at the current standings, and get tonight's game started. But first, I'd like to ask you to hear about the Sunbelt College Baseball League sponsors and ask you to support them as they support us. We encourage you to do business with these sponsors, but even if you don't, please at least let them know that you appreciate their support of the Sunbelt College Baseball and this webcast of the games. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by the Rincon Financial Group, Jimmy John's Restaurants, Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at 22nd and Cobb, Elite Sporting Goods, Pima County's Kino Sports Complex, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Cazal Fire Protection Company, the Stop and Go Driving School, and by Goliath Auto Sales. About ready to go for the Star Spangled Banner here. We'll take a check on Tuesday's results real quick. As I mentioned, these Rincon Knights beat Tucson Champs 8-7 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Old Pueblo Kings 5, but the Aztecs had 13, and those are the 2 teams, the Rincon Knights and the Aztecs, we're about to watch tonight. The Cochise Stars dropped a 1-run game to Team Tucson. The final count was 5-4. In looking at the standings, the Aztecs have clinched number 1. BNL Rockets and Cochise Stars still in a toss-up for number 2. Team Tucson is 4. Tucson Champs and the Rincon Knights follow, and the Old Pueblo Kings are in 7th spot trying to break that 6-game losing streak. And now our national anthem. Well, it is a toasty warm one here in Tucson, Arizona today. Our temperature got up to 104, and there are actually predictions of rain in the forecast. Looks very spotty, however, as now the clouds have really broken up. We did have some clouds off to our southeast, but they've pretty much gone away, so hopefully we won't get any downpours. This is just kind of an early strike to what they call the monsoon winds around here. That's when the flow comes up from the Gulf of Mexico, and we will get summer rains because of it. Now, it is a bit windy. The wind is blowing its traditional left corner to right corner, but both flags are standing almost straight out. So if I disappear from the microphone every now and then, it's because I had to retrieve something that got blown hither, thither, and yon. Behind the plate will be Baltimore Dagnino, and on the bases, Justin Atencio, and we will get started here shortly. On the mound for the Aztecs tonight will be Levi White, and I hate to beat this drum over and over again, but I do want to let you know that we've had a terrible time with our electronic scoring. It's done okay at the site, but the cumulative stats are hasta la bye-bye. Not seen them since, I don't know, about the third or fourth game. There was a sale of the program that we used to another company, and apparently in the changeover something happened, but I'm not going to belabor the point. The statistics that I have are only offensive statistics that are in the stadium, and so pitching information, such as for Levi White, is pretty well non-existent, and I apologize for that. We're getting down towards the end of our season, games tonight and tomorrow night. Then we have the playoffs starting on next Monday, and that will be a semifinal game on Monday and a semifinal game on Tuesday, and then the championship game will be on Wednesday, unusual Wednesday broadcast that we have from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Stepping in and getting ready to go here for the Rincon Knights. The leadoff hitter will be Alberto Nieto. Nieto is in center field tonight. He'll be followed by Sam Gustafson and then Alec Larson, who is playing shortstop. First pitch swinging a little bit behind the pitch, and the count is 0-1. Everybody pretty much squared away. We don't have to worry about sun today, as the cloud cover is pretty consistent off to the west, albeit rather chilly, and the second pitch catches Nieto right in the middle of the back. And to start things off here, we will have a runner on first because of a hit batsman. Next hitter is Sam Gustafson. We'll check on Sam here in just a second, trying to get all our papers squared away because of the wind. Oh, my goodness. I should have stopped and gotten a pocket full of rocks here. First pitch to the next hitter, Gustafson, who normally plays second base, but he is out there as the extra hitter tonight. So the Knights, Gustafson in the stadium batting .357. He was 0 for 3 last night in the game. Runner goes, pitch inside, throw down to second in time, and they get him. So a 2-6 first out of the inning, top of the first. The pitch to the batter, Gustafson, was a ball, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes will give you the configuration of the defense and also the measurements of the stadium here. Next pitch on the knees for a called strike, 2-1. Infield for the Aztecs, where at third, Hakami is at short, Saez is at second, and Escarrega is at first. Behind the plate is Anders Mendoza. And they're going to have to run out and close the bullpen gate out in right field, so that gives us an opportunity to check the outfielders. It's Stockton Pringle in left, Joseph DiCosia in center, and Nicholas Aldretti in right. So the gate has been closed by Aldretti, getting a little extra work in, hustling out to get that done. So we will come back with a 2 and 1 strike count. 2-1 inside, misses, and it'll go 3-1. Nobody on with the throw out at second base. Alec Larson is the next hitter for the Knights. Alec coming into the stadium 267, and 4 wide ones will give it a walk. So first and second batter on. But unfortunately, no real threat going on just yet because of the fine throw from Anders Mendoza out to the shortstop Hakami. And they got the runner Nieto going first to second, trying to sneak one past him. Didn't happen. Alec Larson stepping in. As I mentioned, 267 here in the stadium. To the plate, off speed and high and away for a ball. 3 batters up, and 2 of them have seen the first pitch ball. So Levi White needs to kind of get that adjusted, because if you're pitching from behind, sooner or later it'll catch up with you. 1-0 count, checking the runner, not moving, fouled straight back, and 1-1. Toasty warm day here in Tucson, Arizona, 102 degrees. It was up to 104. Now, admittedly, when the sun goes down, it begins to cool off a little bit quicker than, say, Phoenix, only because we're about 1,000 feet higher than Phoenix. But it still is pretty toasty warm. This one fouled off to the right side, and that will run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Knights really put on a show last night. They trailed at 7-1. Put 3 on the board in the 8th inning and 4 on the board in the 9th, and came away with an 8-7 win. Unfortunately, a wasted and outstanding pitching performance by Cole Altier. This one on the corner for a called strike outside, looking, and that'll be the second out of the inning, and that will bring up Alvaro Barnett. Mr. Barnett is playing third base tonight, and he comes into the stadium with a .278 average in the stadium. I keep emphasizing that because 2 out of the 3 games that we play each evening are played on the south field in this beautiful facility that at one time was the home to Major League Baseball spring training. Once again, the pitch high and away. So Levi White got a first pitch strike to the first batter, Nieto, and then plunked him in the middle of the back. Then they went ahead and picked him off. What was it they said about Stan Musial at one time? That they'd go ahead and let him get to first and then try to pick him off. Second pitch is a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Barnett will be followed by Wrigley McGuire. Barnett 5 of 18 on the season here in the stadium. Fouled off, driven into right field, and down. That'll get into the 340-foot corner. Over there to get it is Aldrete, and that will send Barnett around to second base with a 2-out double. So now a horse of a different color, if you will, as we have runners on second and third. So now there is a threat going on, and that will bring up Wrigley McGuire. Wrigley having trouble with the stick here in the stadium, batting .143. In last night's game, he was 0 for 2. They did pinch hit for him, and as I mentioned, the Knights put 6 pinch hitters in the last 2 innings, and all 6 of them contributed first pitch swinging strike. There were 3 hits, 2 walks, and an RBI sacrifice fly, and that was the run that wound up winning the ball game, as the Knights, as they are tonight, were in the visitors' role. 0-1, first base open, 2 outs, outside for a ball, 1-1. Sam Gustafson is on third, and a 2-out double has put Alvaro Barnett out at second base. The left fielder, Pringle, is playing pretty shallow in left field and well swung around towards the center field side. This one fouled off and will go to 1-2. The center fielder, Dagachia, also has swung probably about 20 paces towards the gap in right center field, and deep in right field is Nicholas Aldrete. So they apparently have seen McGuire and what he does, because they move people around, ball outside, and deuces will be on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, Top of the first inning, nothing across, but runners on second and third. Peyton Capullo is the on-deck hitter. Peyton, an all-star this season. Off speed, raised high to right field. Aldretti takes a couple of steps back, but circles back around, and he will take the high fly ball to right field for the third and final out of this, the top of the first inning. Nothing across for the Rincon Knights, and coming up to bat will be the Aztecs. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, maybe strategies for your estate planning? Well, the personalized services of the Rincon Financial Group is ready to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. The Rincon Financial Group. Michael Seas is the hitter. He will lead things off here for the Aztecs. On the season, the Aztecs 18-4. First pitch strike from the pitcher, Tyler Thomas. 0-1. Just starting off on the bottom of the first inning. This one raised into left field. Diving for it is the left fielder Capullo, but he's unable to come up with it. A big turn at first base, but Seas scampers back and will be satisfied with a looping single to left field, and that will bring up Jacob Hakami. Seas coming into the stadium batting .304, and of course with the base hit that will elevate just a bit. Next up is Jacob Hakami, the second baseman. Check that, the shortstop, and he comes in here batting .321. So some sticks at the top of the order here for the Aztecs. First pitch is a strike. Nothing came across in the top of the first inning, and Mike Odom, the manager and third base coach for the Aztecs, laying down the signals. We'll see if they try to move a runner along like the Knights did in the first inning at the expanded strike zone. Breaking pitch outside and called a strike. Richard Ware is the next hitter. We'll check the infield for the Knights here in just a second. Way outside and waved at it. So it is the first out of the inning and the first strikeout for Thomas. Infield for the Knights, Barnett at third, Larson at short. Dylan Thomas is over at second, and Wrigley McGuire is at first. Behind the plate, Daniel Quijada. And with Richard Ware stepping in with one out and a runner on first, we'll check the outfield in just a second. Fouled on the left side, and looking at the Knights outfield, Payne Capullo is in left field, Alberto Nieto in center, and Diego Iturrias is in right. 0-1. Thomas goes to first, throws it low, but it's dug out of the dirt by Wrigley McGuire. Nice job by Alvaro Barnett coming down and making sure that the ball is not overthrown from first base back to pitcher. And this one misses outside, so we'll square it up at 1. Outfielders pretty much squared away and medium deep here. 340 down the lines at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Straightaway right and left, 375. The gap's 390 and straightaway 405. The runner goes. It's a hit and run. The ball is hit high in the air towards the right center field area, but over to get it is Nieto, and that will send Ciaz scampering back to first base. So a high fly out to center field, second out of the inning, and that will bring up Alex Kelch. Kelch is the extra hitter. Now, you can have 10 hitters in the lineup in the league, and so most teams do that. Every now and then, because of late changes, they will move things around. Kelch has not seen too many at-bats here in the stadium. However, in picking up the at-bats that he has seen in the stadium, he is 4 for 6, went 3 for 4 against the Tucson champs the other night. So he has had an excellent game along the line here. See if he can keep this 667 thing going. A ball was the first pitch. The second pitch just above the letters, and it is 2 balls and no strikes. We've got a couple of outs here in the bottom of the first inning with a runner on first. Nothing across in the top of the first. Outside corner called strike, 2-1. Wind, as I said, is a little bit brisker than normal. This one down in the dirt. Koihara does a good job of keeping it out in front of him. And we'll go to a 3-ball count for the first time in the early going here for Tyler Thomas, the pitcher on the mound for the Knights. To the plate, left center field. Going to get down. No, a diving catch by Capullo, and he pulls it off. Oh, my goodness sakes. I don't know how he got there, but somehow he got a great first step and a diving catch by the left fielder, Peyton Capullo, and that is the third out of the inning. Had he missed that, it might have gone all the way to the wall, although the center fielder, Nieto, did a pretty good job of getting over in the neighborhood, and he might have been able to flag it down. But diving after the ball and robbing Alex Kelch of a base hit, maybe even a double, and holding the runner at first base. Rincon Financial Group, we talked about earlier. We're going to talk about Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area. They know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day trying to make your sandwich quickly and efficiently when you show up. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by a store or order online if it's more convenient at jimmyjohns.com. Well, as happens so many times when an outstanding defensive play goes down, that player comes up as a hitter in the next inning, and leading it off will be the left fielder for the Rincon Knights, who really pulled off an outstanding play diving to his left and actually having to go a long way to get a shallow left center field pop. Came up with it. First pitch he looks at is a ball. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Capullo, an all-star, comes into the stadium here batting .318 in his stadium appearances. 7 for 22. Off-speed pitch just misses outside, and Levi White lets out a groan that we could hear all the way up here. 2 balls and a strike. Everybody pretty much straight away. Down low for a ball. And the count will go to 3-1. This is the second time that Levi White has gone 3-1. And when he did it last time, he wound up walking the batter, Gustafson. 3-1. And history repeats itself. Outside pitch for a ball. And that is the second walk given up by White so far. He's hit a batter. He does have 1 strikeout. and has given up one hit to this point. The next batter is the catcher, Daniel Quijada. Daniel, 231 in the stadium. And we're going to come out and talk a little bit here. I think maybe the coach of the Aztecs noticed that Levi White was fighting the battle just a little bit and decided he better talk to him for a second. Now, whenever we have quiet times and there's music playing in the stadium, we dump out because we don't want to get picked up for copyright infringements without regard to the fact that Kino Stadium and Kino Sports Complex has paid the rights all the way up and down the line, but apparently they have separated them from ourselves, and we've gotten a couple of games copyrighted and deleted, so we'll get out of here until the music goes away. It goes away, so we'll stay right here. At bat is Quijada, the catcher. Daniel has a 231 average, as I mentioned, here in the stadium. The left fielder, Pringle, is playing pretty shallow in left field. Deep in right field is Aldretti. First pitch is a ball. Need to go out to the rock pile and get a pocket full of rocks here. We've got the wind blowing directly into the broadcast booth. Anders Mendoza, the catcher, does a nice job of keeping that low fastball in front of him, so there's no advance. White having a little trouble with control, 2 walks and a hit batter. He does have 1 strikeout and 1 hit against him, nothing across. This one fouled off to the right side. Unfortunately, not able to handle 2 cameras here with the setup that we have and the last-minute decision to do this. So down the right field line, about 2/3 of the way down the line, the stands fold in towards the line, high pitch, and once again we'll go to 3 balls. 3 balls and 1 strike. So twice before, White has issued a walk in this situation. At the set, comes to the plate, right down Main Street. I think maybe the coach over at third may have given him the take sign all the way along because he never even flinched on a pitch that was pretty good. 3-2. See if the runner takes off. They've been on the move before. This one late swing and a strikeout. First out of the top of the second inning. And it is the second strikeout recorded for the pitcher Levi White. Diego Iturrias stands in there. He's playing right field tonight. Diego has a 200 batting average in the stadium, but he definitely was a contributor last night, first pitch strike. He was one of the off-the-bench players, and he got a base hit. The 6 players that came off the bench wound up with 3 hits, 2 walks, and that RBI go-ahead fly ball out on the knees for a strike. So Diego finds himself behind 2-1. Capullo, the runner over at first base, had himself a night last night. He was 3 for 4, and he had an RBI single in the 9th inning to tie things up. Down low, kind of squirts away from Mendoza, but he scurries out and gets it. And the count will be 1-2. Pringle's still pretty shallow in left field. Decachia has moved to the right side of straightaway center, and Aldretti is about normal in right field. 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Swung on, headed towards shallow right field, going for it is Saez, and he makes a diving spectacular catch. Oh my goodness sakes, another star. We're going to hang out on a defensive play here as a pop fly goes to the second baseman Saez, and did a brilliant job of getting that ball as it was going away from him to shallow right field down the line, and he came a long way. kind of kicking his left leg around a little bit as he may have come down on the knee there, but doesn't appear that it's going to bother him. The high floater gets away from the catcher, Mendoza, and the runner moves over to second base, Peyton Caputo. So Capullo is at second base on a wild pitch. Of course, a ball for Dylan Thomas. Thomas on the season in the stadium, .333, has not had a lot of batting appearances here. He is just 2 for 6. This one outside, and it gets away from the catcher Mendoza, and that will push the runner Capullo over to third base. So 2 wild pitches and a 2-0 count. 2 outs here on a spectacular catch by Michael Saez at second base, going long way into shallow right field, diving and coming up with it. So we've seen 2 outstanding plays tonight defensively. This one fouled off, 2 balls and a strike. On deck hitter is Mike Eilis. He is the designated hitter tonight and in the 10th spot in the lineup. Nakaochia makes another several paces over to right center field to the right-handed hitter. This one gets away from the catcher, and it will be a run scored. So we're going to call that one a pass ball because it was inside, admittedly, but Mendoza kind of reached for it rather than going after it. And the count goes to 3-1, and we do have a run in. No RBI credited because of the pass ball. So a wild pitch to second, a wild pitch, another one to third, and then a pass ball brings him home. Pitch is outside for a ball, and that is the third time on a 3-1 count that Levi White has walked a batter. It's his third walk of the game. Combine that with a hit batter. And no hits except, well, he got 1 in the first inning, a double by Alvaro Barnett. So 1 run is across, and no hits recorded here in the top of the second. Mark Iglis, the throw to first base, not in time. Pitch was a ball. Knights really have nothing to lose. They are out of any playoff spot. The only thing that they're kind of playing for is to stay out of the 7th spot in the 7-team league. They are currently a half game ahead of the Kings. Outside, not caught perfectly, but gets the throw anyway. Whoa, that was a great recovery by Mendoza. He did block the ball out in front of him. And Dylan Thomas thought it was far enough away that he could get on his horse and go. Well, his horse didn't get past the 5 furlongs, and he was thrown out at second base. That ends the inning, and after 1.5 innings of play, nothing is on the scoreboard. The Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor, he stammered. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening to a tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay. Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites. Alec Bustamante will be the hitter, and the first pitch he looks at is high for a ball. This is the second inning of work for Tyler Thomas. He gave up the first batter in the first inning, a base hit, and since that time He's gotten 3 consecutive outs, working on his 4th one here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Swung on and hit foul down the right field side and into the stands. Bustamante on the season here in the stadium, 385. So he's had a couple of really fine games in the stadium. He went 2 for 5 the last time he was here on the 28th of June, and he promptly fouls the next one into the right side, and the count will go to 2-2. Infield for the Knights, Barnett at third, Larson at shortstop. Dylan Thomas will be out at second, and Wrigley McGuire is at first base. The pitch is a ball, and the count will go to 3-2. Quijada is behind the plate. It is Capullo left, Nieto center, and Atirius in right with a 3-2 count for the first batter in top of the Aztecs lineup, at least this inning, and he draws a walk. So the first walk given up by Thomas, and that will bring up Escarilla. The first base umpire, or the bases umpire, Justin Atencio, had something to say to not only the batter but also to the Knights bench. Not exactly sure what was said there, but I think the Knights bench barked a little bit about the pitch being a ball and the walk being recorded. So nobody out and a runner on first, and the runner goes. The ball gets away from the catcher, Quijada, and he goes back for it. The runner is at second base, Bustamante. I don't know. I suppose if I was really snarky as all get out, he could be given a pass ball there, but I think we're just going to go with a straight steal because, frankly, Bustamante had one heck of a running start there. This one, half swing, he could not hold up, and the count goes to 1-1 strike. So we're going to credit a stolen base there just on the basis that Bustamante had a tremendous lead. Outside, swinging, missed. Thomas already has 1 walk in the ball game. 1-2 strikes there. Anders Mendoza coming into the stadium batting .303. Fouls it at the plate for a strike. He is the on-deck hitter, and Escarilla is up there with 1-2 strikes. Escarilla batting .296 in the stadium. Hits one into left field, fair. That'll score a run. A big turn at first base, and he's going to go for it. Capullo with the throw, gets it there in time, and he's out. Well, the run will score, and Escarilla will be given credit for a base hit and an RBI, but he tested the arm of Peyton Capullo in left field and paid the price as it went 7-4 for the first out, but a run does come across, and that will tie things up here 1-1. Batter Mendoza, first pitch to him is a called strike. As I mentioned, Anders, who's behind the plate tonight, comes into the stadium batting .303. Nobody on, 1 out, and the pitch is outside for a ball. 1-1 strike. Outside corner for a called strike. 1-2 on the strike side. Anders, one of the several players on this team, 19 to be exact, from Pima Community College. Kind of a half-hearted swing. Wanted to hold up bad, but was unable to do so. And one thing about last night's victory by the Rincon Knights is that they have begun to be a rather noisy dugout. And maybe that is why the base umpire Justin Atencio went over and said, now listen, outside for a ball, nobody on, a couple of outs here, 1 run in, and Scott Pringle is the batter. Scott in left field tonight, thought about it, Apparently he did not go. They're going to ask the base umpire, and he says, yes, he did. 1 ball and 1 strike. Scott got off to a great start. He was 5 for 13 for a while, and then he went 3 for 4, so that runs him up to, 8 for 17. But since that time, he has really cooled off, and his batting average .290, which is really nothing to be too ashamed of, except that he got off to such a fantastic start. The pitch outside for a ball, and we're beginning to see some rain clouds in the east. They're kind of traveling from the south to the north here. Well, actually from the southeast to the northwest if you want to get technical, so I don't think that anything will come this way. The count goes full at 3-2 with a couple of outs. Base is clear, fouls it off, and we'll go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat with the count remaining 3-2. Outfielders pretty much straight away, although there is a fairly decent gap in right center field. And, of course, with 2 outs, the fielders in the infield are back. This one hit sharply out towards Capullo, but he's got a line on it and grabs it for the out. Had to move a couple of steps to his left, but got the ball on the line, and that ends this inning. A 1-run across, and we're all tied up after 2 full innings of play at 1-1. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire store in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in the store. They have 5 convenient locations around Tucson. Pick the one closest to you in the 2400 block of North First, 3501 East Broadway, 290 West Wetmore Road, 4800 block of East Sunrise, or 7950 East Speedway. Wherever you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not be disappointed. We go to the top of the third, all tied up at 1-1, and the batter that was on in the batter's box when Dylan Thomas was thrown out at second base is Mark Islas, and he will have his count erased from last time up, and he takes the ball inside, so he's right back where he was, 1 ball and no strikes. When the ball in the dirt was blocked by Mendoza, the catcher, he jumped out there and did a good job of keeping it in front of him, made a very strong throw to second base, and caught Dylan Thomas by a hair. Swinging strike, 1-1. Line score right now, 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors for the visiting Rincon Knights, and 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for the Aztecs. Off-speed pitch catches that inside corner for a called strike. This is kind of a David and Goliath type of situation, as the Aztecs have clinched first place with an 18-4 record on the season, while the Rincon Knights are struggling to make sure they could actually creep into 5th place. A 1-hop ground ball out to Michael Sayas, and he just nonchalantly gets it over to first base for the first out of the inning, and we'll go to the top of the order. Alberto Nieto, who's playing center field tonight, will be followed by Sam Gustafson. Alberto had a strike on him, and then the ball got away from Levi White, and he put a bullseye, a little dot right in the middle of Nieto's back, and he took first base, but he got thrown out by Mendoza. Mendoza recording 2 assists tonight already. First pitch of ball. To the plate. Bottom. 2-0. Squared around to look like he was going to bunt it. Richard Ware was fairly deep at third base. So maybe that was just to get Ware in a little bit, because the closer the infielders are to the plate, the easier it is to get one past them. This fouled off into the right side. 2 balls and a strike on a toasty warm Tucson evening. Game time, it was 102. It's still 102 here, and we're in the top of the third. Lights beginning to take over ball. Each time so far that Levi White has gotten a 3-1 count, he has issued a walk. So far, 3 of them on the evening. Inside corner for a called strike, so history does not repeat itself for the 4th time here. On deck is Sam Gustafson. Three-two, high hopper over the mound and into center field for a base hit. So a 1-out runner will be on first base, and that will bring up Sam Gustafson. Sam batting .357 here in the stadium. He is the extra hitter tonight. He drew a walk in the first inning on a 3-1 count. So with 1 out, we have a runner on. And the Knights have had a play on a couple of times in this particular situation. Like I said, they don't have a whole lot to lose, although if they can come up with some wins, this one fouled off, they could actually get into 5th spot. They're only a half game out of 5th. The team that is sitting above them in the standings are the Tucson Champs. The Champs lost a ball game last night, so that's why things tightened up there as the Knights beat them, as a matter of fact. This one fouled off on a little bit of a late swing, and Sam is down 0-2. Gustafson had kind of a rough night last night. He was 0 for 3. His .357 in the stadium comes from some good action early in the year. This one wrapped into center field, hit pretty hard, so I doubt very seriously of Nieto, but it goes through the center fielder, Gescochia, and they runners will move up. So we've got a base hit for Gustafson, and both runners will move to the next spot because of an error by the center fielder. Happens with some consistency, unfortunately, as the outfielder will look up to see where the runner is, and in doing so, that ball just skirted right underneath Gescochia's glove. Fortunately, it didn't roll that far away from him because he did get a little bit of leather on it. This one down the right field line and foul. Oh, it's fair by inches. It's into the corner. 2 runs will score, and a double for Alec Larson. Boy, I tell you what, you had to get your micrometer out to see if that was fair or foul. Just barely inside the line. So 2 RBI. And the Rincon Knights go up by 2 more, and they are ahead by a score of 3-1. Batter is Alvaro Barnett, outside corner for a called strike. He doubled in the first inning, and that put runners on second and third with 2 outs. But unfortunately, the next batter flew out to right field, and that ended the inning. Inside, what do they got? They hit him? My golly, if it hit him, it didn't hit him by a whole lot. So the bases are jammed here, although the home plate umpire came right out and said that it was a hit batsman. So in the inning, Alberto Nieto with a base hit with 1 out comes around to score on the double by Alec Larson, as did Sam Gustafson. And the reason that they were in those positions is an error as the ball bounced underneath the center fielder's glove. And that put runners on second and third. This one hit to right center, and a late dive by Dicochea comes up with the ball, or did he trap it? They're going to say that he trapped it. He started to move back to cover deep, and the ball was obviously topped and came down hard. That will send Larson over to third, and McGuire with a base hit. And now we have Peyton Caputo up there. First pitch to him is a strike. Larson at third. 3 runs are in. Well, I take that back. Larson is at third. Down low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, apparently it was not trapped in right center field. It was an out. This one lifted to the stands on the right side. So McGuire flew out to center field on a nice play there. Larson moved over to third, and Barnett stayed at first base. So with a 1-2 count and 2 outs here, Capullo is up there. Stays off a high fastball. Peyton got a walk in the second inning. Moved over to second base on a wild pitch, and another wild pitch took him to third, and then a pass ball brought him home. And that was the first run for the Knights. This one on the corner for a called strike and the third out of the inning. But 2 runs come across on a 2-run RBI double by Alec Larson. He does get over to third, and after 2.5 innings of play, it is the Rincon Knights 3 and the Aztecs 1. Now, when you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at East 22nd Street in Colb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern taste is all about, and they're there to satisfy. Chewy's on 22nd Street is open until 10 o'clock on weeknights and Sundays, until 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Colb. Well, the center fielder, Joseph Dicochea, will step up there and try to make amends for the error made in center field as he leads off the bottom of the third inning. Encouragement from Mike Odom, the team's manager who coaches at third base. First pitch by Tyler Thomas is up and away, and a ball. Try to check on some of the scores in the outlying fields. Next pitch is outside for a ball. So Dicochea is up 2 balls and no strikes. Tucson champs lead the BNL Rockets 6-0 in the third inning. Way outside, ball 3. And the Cochise Stars, well, they only have 2 games up here. So the Cochise Stars apparently have not started, or we're not getting the material from out there as we should be. I'll try to tap in and type it in and see if it comes up. One of the continuing problems that we've had with our electronic scoring, late swing for a strike, and the count goes to 3-2. Dicochea batting an even 200 in his stadium appearances. 3-2. This one fouled off to the right side, and we'll go to the seventh pitch of the at-bat. Nicholas Aldretti is the on-deck hitter, and Nicholas has yet to get a base hit here in the stadium. Off-speed pitch lifted high to the stands on the right side, and pitch number 8 will be upcoming. Odom, the manager, is the coach at third base. Chris Dunn, one of the players of record, is the coach at first base. Rocks and fires, 3-2. Bounding ball out towards third. Barnett comes up with it, doesn't set his feet, but does successfully get the ball over to first. Excuse me, as an ex-coach, that drives me crazy. Get your feet set and throw the ball. He had plenty of time. But too many times they're watching ESPN's Top 10 and seem to feel that that's the way to go. Nicholas Aldretti, as I mentioned, has not gotten a base hit here in the stadium. He might be batting 1,000 out in the south fields, but I don't know about it. The expanded strike zone on the outside corner necessitates a called strike on Nicholas Aldretti. 0-1. Nobody on and one out. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Second pitch is also a called strike. Nick plays at Eastern New Mexico. He's a graduate of Volcano Vista. Swung on, but the ball gets away from the catcher, Quijada, and running down to first base alertly is Aldretti. So it will be a strikeout, but he is on first base. It's the second strikeout recorded by Tyler Thomas, which will not be recorded, I suppose. And that goes to the top of the order, Michael Saez. Saez led off the game with a base hit, but the subsequent 3 batters in the inning were unable to get on, and they were aided and abetted by an outstanding play. This one off the pitcher's glove. Second baseman Thomas grabs it, and he gets him by a whisker. Whoa! So we're going to go 1-4-3 on the out there. That does move the runner over to second base. Aldretti on with a strikeout and a pass ball. So a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Boy, that was a heads-up alert play by Dylan Thomas. He really gunned that ball over there. First pitch to Jacob Hakami. The shortstop is high for a ball. Jacob was a strikeout victim in the first inning. To the plate, outside on the knees, 1-1, called strike. We've seen some fine defensive plays here. The one by Thomas was outstanding. Caputo in left field, this one fouled off to the right side, was also a brilliant star play. And then we saw another one for the catcher Mendoza, where he jumped out on a ball that had gotten away from him a little bit and came up gunning and got the runner at second base. So some fine defensive action here tonight in the stadium. Looped out to left field, and gathering it in will be Caputo, and that will be the third out of this, the bottom of the third inning, with a threat but nothing across. So after 3 full innings of play, it is the Rincon Knights 3 and the Aztecs 1, and in the ball game, the pitcher Tyler Thomas has given up only 2 hits. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment, uniforms, not only for sports but for schools, and also they do a lot of work for businesses. There's a full range of services including silk screening, embroidery, heat press, custom printing, banners, and much more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web. Elite Sporting Goods. Leading things off here in the top of the fourth inning is position 7, 8, and 9. First pitch strike to Daniel Quijada. He was a strikeout victim, one of two spun by Levi White so far in the ball game. Actually, there are 3 strikeouts. Nice job by Mendoza getting outside and keeping that ball in front of him. Diego Iterias is the next hitter, and then Dylan Thomas will follow him. At the set. Hard hit down to third base. Richard Ware comes up with it. And boy, I tell you what, that was a fine display of the leather flashing. And I would credit that with an outstanding play. The ball was to his left and hit very hard, but he came up with it and got the runner at first base. Now, we've seen Richard Ware over at first base on several occasions, and he's done a mighty fine job over there as well. Kind of half waving at an outside pitch is Diego. He popped out to the second baseman, Seaz, on an outstanding play by Seaz as he was going away from the plate and grabbed that ball. Second pitch is inside corner for a called strike. So one thing that is very pleasing here in the Sun Belt College Baseball Summer League is that early in the league we did not see much defensive play, but here in the last several weeks things have turned around. Lifted foul to the stands on the right side. The count will remain 0-2. So White giving up 3 runs total. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Ball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He struck out 3, walked 3, and hit 2. So not the picture of consistency here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. At the set and to the plate. Off-speed pitch pounded into the dirt at the plate, and we'll go to the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Diego goes to Benedictine University, and that is up in the greater Phoenix area. Graduate just this past May from Sabino High School in the Tucson area. The ball floats high, and the count will square at 2. Ware at third, Hakami at short, Seaz at second, Escariga at first. We'll check the outfield in a second. This one swung on and fouled back. And so the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. The outfield, Scott Pringle in left, swung pretty well around towards left center. Joseph Discochia in center field also has swung around more to the right center field side. This one wrapped down by the third base side, but foul. In right field, Aldretti is playing over towards the line, so they expect, quite frankly, to have Iterias hit one to the right side. But when he fouled that one off, it was to the left side. 9th pitch of the at-bat there, and we'll come to number 10 here in just a second with the count 3-2. Nobody on, 1 out here on a fine play by Richard Ware at third base. This one hit straightaway center and diving. It drops through. Discochia can't come up with it. It does get behind him, and it will probably be scored as a base hit because it was topped and diving. And I'm going to suspect that maybe they might give him an error on the move to second base. At least that's what I would be inclined to do, so we'll kind of keep an eye out there. No, they rack it up as a base. No, they do not. It's still 5 hits up there, and that's what we have through 3 innings. Aren't real quick with the decision, so we'll have to hold off and let you know what they finally come up with. High and inside to Dylan Thomas, the second baseman, who walked in the second inning and was thrown out on an outstanding play by Mendoza. The catcher blocking a ball out in front of him. Thomas took off, and Mendoza retrieved the ball and threw a strong throw to second and got him out there. Runner goes to third. The throw to third, high and away, and he's in there safe. Well, they still have not come up with a decision here. Well, yes, they have, now that I see it. I don't see whether they have given a error on the ball moving up or an error on the base hit. I still only have 5 base hits. This one dumped over the first baseman in shallow right field, coming a long way but not having to worry about it because it falls in foul territory. 2 balls and a strike. Runner on third here, 1 out in the top of the 4th inning, with the Knights on the lead right now, 3-1. They're coming off a 9th inning victory last night here in the stadium. This one fouled into the stands on the right side. So we are at the 12th pitch of this at-bat. Dylan Thomas up there. Waves at one outside. It's called a strike, and the throw to first base is almost off the bag. And so Thomas strikes out. Second out of the inning. I was looking in the wrong box. Shame on you, Alan. Goodness gracious. As stuff blows around here, go get me some rocks, please. Yeah, the wind is probably as strong as it's been. Still going from left field corner to right field corner as Mark Eilis is up there. Eilis grounded out to the second baseman, Seas, in the 3rd inning. First pitch, a called strike. Couple of strikes here, or a couple of outs rather, with a runner at third base in the top of the 4th inning. With the Knights leading at 3-1, they put 1 on the board in the 2nd and 2 in the 3rd. White to the plate, late swing, and 0-2 is the hole that Mike Eilis is in. Eilis goes to Greenville University, that is in the greater Chicago area, one of the suburbs there. Another late swing and a strikeout, so that's going to be the 5th strikeout in the ballgame for Levi White, without regard to the fact that he is behind by a 3-1 count here. After 3.5 innings, it is the Knights 3 and the Aztecs 1. Yes, it's called Kino Sports Complex, but it is much more than that. Maureen Ochoa, who's the director here, and her great crew have successfully staged trade shows, corporate meetings, conferences, fundraising events, and private parties in and around the Kino Stadium site. So whether it's a sports activity or something else, give the Kino Sports Complex a call to find out how convenient and successful your event can be right here at Kino Sports Complex. Well, just to let you know, they did not give a hit and an error to Iturios, so it was an error all the way. And as it turned out, the error did not cost anybody anything. Richard Ware will lead it off here. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Alex Kelch will be the next scheduled hitter, and Alex Bustamante, this one fouled off the end of the bat, and back to the screen for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Tyler Thomas back out for his 4th inning of work. Couple of strikeouts and a walk. He's given up but 1 run so far. Off-speed pitch almost hit him inside. 2-1. Thomas has only given up 2 hits so far. Way outside as he pulls one across his body. Alex Kelch in the on-deck circle, he was robbed and a half by Peyton Caputo out in left field. That it was in the first inning with a man on, and the pitch here will put a man on to start things off here in the bottom of the fourth. So Kelch will come up. He was 2 for 3 in his stadium appearances. Not many plate appearances, as Mike Odom told me when we went down and talked before the game, that he was trying to get as many players into the game that do not have too many plate appearances, as they have already cinched first place in the league. First pitch to Kelch is outside for a ball. Ware is on first by way of the walk. Second walk given up by Thomas. Comes to the plate and misses 2-0. Barnett at third, even with the bag. Of course, McGuire at first is holding against the runner, and the middle infielders are at double play depth. 2-1 pitch, way outside. Quijada gets over there and keeps it in front of him, so there's no runner advance. (3-1), and he walks him. So that is definitely not a way to get an inning started. Walking 2 consecutive batters, there's no activity going on in the bullpen at this point. Alex Bustamante drew a walk in the second inning, came around to score the first run. This one is a major league pop-up. It's over near the stands on the right side and could not grab a hold of it. McGuire was over there, kind of disappeared down the steps into the Knights dugout. Nobody was over there to help him out. That's always a little bit scary. When you have a player somewhere around your dugout, you need to be over there hollering where he's at and whether he's got any more room or not. Frankly, I think if the ball had been in the stands area where McGuire could have leaned up against the wall, he might have gotten that, because it did not go but the first row into the dugout. This one fouled straight back, and Bustamante finds himself behind 0-2. Couple of runners on here, first and second, and nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning, with the Aztecs trailing 3-1. Last several games, they have given up the lead early and then come back and won it. So maybe that's the overall plan here. On deck hitter is Sal Escariga. He's batting right around 300. This one wrapped sharply into left center field and down. Nieto up with it, throwing towards third. The cutoff man relays it to third and not in time. Back to second, not in time. And the runner will score. So an RBI single is credited to Bustamante. He goes to second base on the throw. Coming in to score was Richard Ware, who got on one of those 2 walks to lead things off. And the other person, Kelch, who walked, is over on third base. So we're having a little bit of a discussion here. Well, let's see what the story is here. Apparently, they did get the runner out at second base. There was no signal initially. And umpires are pulling things out of their wallets or their back pockets. And I think possibly Bustamante came off the bag and was racked up with an out, but we'll see what the story is here. Well, they bring a runner out for him. So did not see what happened. Coming out to run for the Aztecs will be Christopher Dunn. And just because the umpires pulled things out of their pockets, I'm going to bet anything that Bustamante said something going into second base and upset Justin Atencio, and he tossed him out of there. But all of that aside for the moment, Escariga steps in and looks at the first pitch high for a ball. Escariga got a base hit and drove in a run in the second inning. So I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see from the official score. Ball gets away. Runner coming home. The throw to the plate. Not in time. So a second run comes across. This one on a pass ball, I would say. And we are all tied up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Escariga with a 2-ball count on him. Swings at one on the outside corner and doesn't catch up with it. 2 balls and a strike. The runner did move over to third. Whoever is running for Bustamante, I believe that's done. A high hopper to the pitcher, going to the plate with it, and they get him out. Well, what happened was McGuire came over to get the high hopper that he thought that was going to get by Thomas, and as it turned out, he had to throw on the brakes and grab the ball and get home with it. So the out is the second one of the inning. Check that. That's the first one of the inning. Escariga is on with a fielder's choice, and he is the only runner on right now. Anders Mendoza, the catcher, comes up. Ball is got away from Quijada, but he scrambles around and grabs it before Escariga can take off from first. Well, no sooner did I say the Aztecs seem to spot other teams the lead and then come back. They have come back to tie it up here in the bottom of the fourth inning at 3-3. High hopper over the mound. Shortstop grabs it. Larson back to the second baseman, Thomas, and not in time to first. The relay as Larson had to come past the bag, stop, and underhand it to Thomas at second. So a fielder's choice will get Mendoza on. A 6-4 out at second base will create the second out of the inning, and that will bring up Stockton Pringle. Now they will have a courtesy runner for Mendoza, who is the catcher, and going out to be the courtesy runner will be number 9, and that is Angel Ochoa. Ochoa, a star on this team, made the All-Star team, but is not in the lineup tonight, as the manager Mike Odom said that he was going to play as many other players as he possibly could. Pringle fouls one off to the right side, and the count to him will be 0-1. Two walks started the inning off, and then a base hit. Swinging strike, 0-2. Those walks will come back and bite you in the backside more often than not, especially when they lead off an inning. 2 walks, a base hit, 2 fielders' choices in a row. This one is outside for a ball to Pringle, comes into the stadium batting .290. Pringle, as I mentioned, was one of the 19 Pima Community College players here. Lifted high on the left side. Alec Larson has a bead on it, backing up and grabs it with one hand, and that will be the final out of the inning here, and we'll have to see whether Bustamante comes out or if he got thumbed for something that he said to the base umpire. At any rate, 2 came across here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and we are all tied up after 4 full innings, 3-3. Cazal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. Cazal Fire Protection Company serves both home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Cazal has an extensive knowledge of fire protection and works hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Cazal Fire Protection Company, first in quality, serving with pride. Nieto looks at the first pitch from the new relief pitcher, Travis Higdon, and wraps it into the right field stands. And when we say that, of course, we mean down the sidelines. Nieto, the center fielder, does the same thing, this time not quite as high into the stands, and he's behind 0-2. He got hit by a pitch by Levi White in the first inning, got a base hit, and came around to score in the third inning when the Knights scored 2 to go ahead 3-1, but they gave up 2 in the bottom of the fourth inning, and we go to the top of the fifth with everything all tied up at 3-3. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. 3 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Aztecs. High and away for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Levi White did not do a bad job, had 5 strikeouts, but did have a little control problem with 3 walks and 2 hit batters. Going to look and see whether the swing was a strike. It was indeed, and that will be the first strikeout for Mr. Higdon. Sam Gustafson took the collar last night, 0 for 3, but came up tonight with a walk in the first inning and a base hit in the third. He came around to score, got to second on an error, and then came home on the RBI double. 2 RBI double, as a matter of fact, by Alec Larson, who is the on-deck hitter. First pitch, a strike. Started to offer at it, but it went outside according to the home plate umpire. 1 ball and 1 strike. This one fouled off to the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Aztecs participating quite a bit more in player positioning than a lot of the other teams, as the center fielder Dicochea was around into right center field. The pitch down low, and it's a 2-2 count. Scott Pringle straight away in left, and a little bit deep in right is Nicholas Aldrete. 2-2 pitch. This one hit right back up through the middle, comes off the glove of Higdon, and unable to grab it is Hakami as he dives after it, and it gets into center field. So a base hit will put a 1-out runner on first base, and that brings up Alec Larson. Struck out looking against Levi White in the first inning, and then against White in the third. Blasted a 2-run double. Way inside, gets away from the catcher, and Gustafson will go around to second base on the wild pitch. So, runner in scoring position. Gustafson already has 1 run across. He was driven in by Alec Larson in the third. To the plate, inside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Alvaro Barnett is the next scheduled hitter. He got a double in the first inning. Down low, Mendoza grabs it to keep it from having a runner advance. So Gustafson stays at second, 3-0 the count. First base open, 1 out here in the top of the fifth. On the knees for a called strike. And on the knees for a called strike 2. 3-2 now to Alec Larson. Three-two. This one is down low enough, and it'll be a walk, so a strikeout. A base hit and a walk put runner at first and second. And Alvaro Barnett coming into the ball game in the stadium here, batting .278. A double and being hit by a pitch in the third inning. 1 of 2 hit batters by the leadoff pitcher Levi White. Inside corner for a called strike. Barnett felt that it was a little bit farther inside than it appeared. Barnett playing third base tonight for the Knights. Wraps it foul, right side, just barely. Oh, my goodness, it was just barely. We have had a couple of balls down that right field line that have been fair by a whisker and foul by a whisker. Went into the corner, and that definitely would have scored two as the ball rattled around over there, although Aldretti has played over towards the line on the right field side, so it might not have been a guaranteed two. At any rate, it's 0-2 with one out. Play at second base, not in time. Obviously, they ran a count play or a don't look at the runner play where the catcher makes the signal to turn and throw. At any rate, they didn't get him. 0-2, way inside. Great job by Mendoza to move his feet and get outside to keep the ball in his glove rather than making it all the way to the backstop. And that leaves the runners on first and second. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning, all tied up at 3-3. This one, a high hopper over the mound. It is slow. The only play is to first base by Hakami, and he makes the play. But the runners move up, and we have runners in scoring position, second and third. But there are 2 outs on the board. The ball hopped high enough over Higdon that he couldn't get his hands on it. It was very slowly hit. I'm sure that Hakami would have loved to have gone to third with it, but he had no choice. Pitch is way inside for a ball, as this is Wrigley McGuire, the first baseman for the Rincon Knights. He is 0 for 2, and 0 for 2 thanks to Joseph DiCoccia in center field. Pitch is on the corner, or on the knees rather, for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. DiCoccia made a brilliant play in center field to grab that ball and rob McGuire of a base hit. Next pitch is outside for a ball, 2-1. In the first inning, McGuire, who's playing first base tonight, flew out to Aldretti in right field. 2 balls, 1 strike. Off the end of the bat and out towards Hakami. Hakami's only play is to first base, and he gets him. 2 fairly nice plays by Jacob Hakami at shortstop. Don't know that we'd necessarily hang a star on one of them, but the other one, this last out, I believe that we're going to do that. So nothing across in the top of the 5th inning. And after 4.5 innings of play, we are still tied at 3-3. How does this sound at O'Reilly Chevrolet? Newer car, lower payments. O'Reilly Chevrolet has car financing experts that can do just that for you. What can you lose? Just call O'Reilly Chevrolet and see what they can do for you. Oh, here's another idea. How about stopping by O'Reilly Chevrolet at 6160 East Broadway and find out firsthand? O'Reilly Chevrolet, the good folks that know how to provide the best in sales and service. Center fielder, DiCoccia will be up there, and he looks at one outside for a ball. Tyler Thomas still on the mound for the Knights. DiCoccia grounded out to third base in the third inning. Swings at one outside and misses it. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the plate, 1-1, misses outside. We'll go 2-1. Aldretti is the scheduled on-deck hitter, and then Michael Sayas. In fact, Aldretti is in the batter's circle, in the on-deck circle. So we will see him here. Everybody pretty much straight away. The pitch outside. And Thomas goes to a 3-ball count, 3-1. Dicochea came into the ball game, or into the stadium, I should say, batting .200. 3-1 pitch on the way. Outside corner for a called strike. Got to watch that outside corner. These umpires favor that corner. 72 pitches for Thomas, and misses high and away. So a leadoff walk, and that's what got him in trouble in the 4th inning. He had 2 walks to lead off the inning. Fourth walk issued by Thomas, the 3rd one in the last 2 innings. Hit hard, left field. Oh, it's going to die and fall right in front. I thought it was hit a lot harder than that. Sounded good off the bat, but definitely did not have any kind of distance. If it had, Capullo in left field would have been able to get a hold of it, but it was a dying quail and went short in left field. Dicochea moved over to second base on the base hit by Aldretti, and that will bring up Michael Sayas, who is 1 for 2 tonight. He got a base hit in the 1st inning and hit one back through the box around a bunt, bunted the ball out of the strike zone. No. Sorry, coaching me coming out. You got to bunt the strikes. Now he hit a ball sharply back towards Thomas in the 3rd inning. Thomas got a glove on it and misdirected it just enough to Dylan Thomas over at second base, who got the ball to first for an out. Not around to bunt this time, although McGuire and Barnett were kind of closing in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out with runners on first and second. McGuire looking for the bunt. This one swung on and hit slowly out to shortstop. Tough play for Larson. He gets him just barely. Boy, we have seen some leather flash tonight. An outstanding play by Alec Larson. Somehow or other got that slow roller and in one motion got the ball over to first base. The runners do move up, so we have them both in scoring position at second and third, and that brings up the shortstop, Jacob Hakami. He is 0 for 2, and the infield is in. First pitch is a ball. Second pitch high and inside for another ball. So behind 2-0. 2-0 pitch. This one wrapped right back through the middle and into center field. That will score 1 for sure. Rounder running around third base and coming in to score. So a 2 RBI single. Two runs across for the Aztecs, and they lead it 5-3. Richard Ware is the hitter. This one lifted high to the left side. The wind might bring it back into the stadium. It did, but Barnett could not catch up with it. And so it's just a strike. So once again, the Aztecs have spotted the other team, the early runs, and are coming back right now. 2 across, outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Those walks will kill you every time. Leadoff hitter got a walk. Second batter with a base hit. This one hit sharply to left field. Capullo goes back for it and then rushes in and grabs it for the out. Runner will stay at first base, and that will be the second out of the inning. Alex Kelch will come up there. He got a walk, went around to third base on a base hit by Alex Bustamante. And that was part of the 2 runs scored in the 4th inning. Couple of outs, 2 runs in here, moved to first, not in time. Bottom of the 5th, 5-3 the Aztecs. Squaring around to bunt, offered at it. So it was a called strike, or a strike because of the quote, end of quote, swing. A little activity out in the Knights bullpen. By activity, there are a couple of guys sitting around out there. Slow curve misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the 5th, a couple in and a couple out with a runner on first. Tyler Thomas giving up 4 runs in the last 2 innings, called strike. At the set, 1-2 to the plate, outside. Nice block by Quijada. Count evens at 2. ...2018 graduate from Tucson High School, Kelch up there. 2-2, hits it sharply out to shortstop and past him. Alec Larson couldn't handle it. That'll run the runner around to third base. Fairly close play over there, but they don't get him. So another base hit chalked up here. 6 base hits on the game, and that will necessitate a visit from the mound. So while they're talking it over, we will be silent because we don't want to have the music be read by YouTube and copyrighted. So we'll be back in a second. Well, we did in fact get a pitching change here. This will be Benjamin Ty. And the first batter that he will face will be number 20. So apparently Alex Bustamante did get pitched. something that was said or done or whatever at second base. First pitch to Dunn is out of the strike zone for a ball. So Chris Dunn steps in there. This one inside, rolls away from the catcher Quijada, and that will give Kelch an opportunity to go over to second base. So a couple of balls and a strike here. Two runners in scoring position, ball outside. 3-1. Hakami is at third and Kelch at second. Checks a swing. And we will go out to 3-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning, 2 across, and the Aztecs lead at 5-3 after trailing 3-1 at one time. Swung on and fouled away at the plate. So we'll go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat, 3-2. First base is open, and Benjamin Ty comes in. Five runs on the board versus Tyler Thomas so far. Outside, and they walk him. First walk given up by Ty. Thomas went 4 2/3 innings. Now the 2 runs that are on second and third are his responsibility, so if they come around, he will have given up more than the 5 that we've got so far. He gave up 5 hits, got 3 strikeouts, and 4 walks. The first baseman, Sal Escariga, who is on with an RBI single. This one lifted to right field, and over to get it is the right fielder, Diego Iturrias. And boy, that sure saved some runs on a line drive shot to right field. Third out of the inning. However, 2 come across, and after 5 full innings of play, it is the Aztecs 5 and the Knights 3. You know, the top driving school is Stop and Grow Driving School in Tucson, Arizona. Learning to drive is not just something that you do to get your test passed and get your license. You do it to make sure that you're safe on the road. Hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, many of them fatal. With the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver's education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. Peyton Capullo will start things off here for the top of the 6th inning. He got a walk in the 2nd inning and came around to score, then struck out looking in the 3rd. This one fouled off to the right side, so we'll go 1 ball and 1 strike. Travis Higdon came in to start the 5th inning, so this is his 2nd inning of work. Gave up a base hit and had runners on 2nd and 3rd. And this one, a slow bouncer out to the second baseman, Seaz. And Seaz bounces one in the dirt. And once again, we have an infielder that did not get his feet set. and that will chalk up an error for the second baseman, Michael Seaz, and put a runner on first to start things off here in the top of the sixth inning with Daniel Quijada, the catcher, coming up. Quijada was retired on a fine play by Richard Ware, the third baseman, in the fourth inning. First pitch to him is high and away for a ball. Before that, the Rincon Knights catcher struck out swinging in the second inning. Came into the stadium ball game batting .231. Next pitch swinging, and it's a 1-1 count. So the Knights, with really nothing to lose, we'll see if they have something moving. They do not. Ball is on the knees for a called strike. Little difficult with a left-handed pitcher to do anything too much unless you just have a speed merchant over there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Foul. Fifth pitch of the at-bat. White went 4 full innings as the starting pitcher. Way high, and the runner will go down to second base. So on a wild pitch to the catcher Quijada, that will send Capullo down to second base, a runner in scoring position, and an opportunity for the Knights to get back maybe one. Nobody out here and a runner on second. Ball high, and the count will go to 3-2. Diego Iterios is in the on-deck circle. This one fouled in the right field stands. Boy, I tell you what, you got to pay attention to what's going on. They're talking about in the big leagues extending those wire barriers on past the dugouts. But I believe that in many stadiums they already have that. This one lifted to right field. Going back for it is Aldretti, backpedaling some more, and finally grabs it. But because he was backpedaling the entire time, that gave Caputo an opportunity to return to second base, tag up, and go to third. So 1 out here in the top of the sixth inning, runner at third. And, of course, with a runner at third and less than 2 outs, numerous other ways to be able to get that runner across. Almost saw one there, wild pitch. Nice job by Mendoza. Boy, Mendoza has done well back there. He's got a couple of putouts, throwing people out at second base tonight. Outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Iterios came into the stadium batting .200. He got on a 2-base error in the fourth inning and was absolutely robbed by Seaz at second base on a pop fly ball to shallow right field as Seaz was going away from the play, caught it diving over his shoulder. 2 balls and 1 strike. Way inside, and once again Mendoza gets his feet moving and gets over there. And for the second batter in a row, we will go to a 3-1 count. First base is open, and the on-deck hitter is Dylan Thomas, a walk and a strikeout today. Low inside pitch swung on and missed. 3-2 will be the count. Right now, really a strong need by Iterios to put the bat on the ball. Well, he puts the bat on the ball and sends it into the stands on the right side. So we'll go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Pringle is swung all the way around to left center field. The center fielder, Dicochea, is all the way around to right center. This one right back up through the middle and a base hit. So Iterios did exactly what he needed to do, just put the bat on the ball, and the Knights have gotten one back. 5-4 now. Dylan Thomas, the hitter, in the stadium batting .333, 0 for 1 tonight, struck out swinging in the fourth. Before that, he got a base on balls in the second inning. This one fouled straight back into the screen. 0-1. Travis Higdon on the mound for the Aztecs. Came in the top of the 5th inning. This one swung on into the stands to the right side. Giving chase to it is Aldretti, but it was from a right-handed hitter spinning towards the foul line, and no chance for Aldretti to get there, although he gave it the old college try. Dylan Thomas up there with an 0-2 count. Had spun away from what he thought was an inside pitch, and the home plate umpire thought differently, so that is a looking strikeout, second out of the inning, and brings up Mark Elis. Mark, a graduate of South Point High School here in the greater Tucson area, but he is going to the greater Chicago area to Greenville University for his college experience. First pitch to him, inside for a ball. 2 outs, runners on first base with a run in. Misses again, 2-0. He's been behind 3-1 twice, then went to 3-2, got a fly out to right, and then an RBI single back up through the middle. Higdon kind of had to dance to keep his leg from being taken off. Strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Aztecs, or rather the Knights, have 6 hits tonight, actually 7. And they are down by a run. Down low for a ball. And once again, Higdon has gone to a 3-ball count. This is the 4th time in his 2 innings of work that he's gone 3 balls. This one fouled off to the right side, and once again we'll go 3-2. Iterios had 3-2 on him and got a RBI single. That brought Capullo around, who got on an error by the second baseman. Those walks and errors will kill you. The Aztecs defense swung way around to the right side. The runner goes. The pitch is inside for a ball, and we have runners on first and second. So the inning is still alive for the Knights, and we'll go to the top of the inning, or the top of the lineup. Alberto Nieto, who was 1 for 2 tonight, hit by a pitch in the first, got a base hit and came around to score in the third and struck out swinging against Higdon. First batter to look at Higdon. First pitch to Nieto, way high. Mendoza got on his stepladder and got up. The defense seems to figure that the Knights hitter will be swinging late as everybody is swung around to the right side. Another one up in the sky, 2-0. The wind is, in fact, blowing that way and blowing a little bit harder than it normally does here in the late innings at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson. The wind is going its traditional left corner to right corner direction. However, that direction is a little bit stronger than it normally is at this time of the evening. Still pretty toasty here in Tucson, 95 degrees. It was 102 at the start of the game tonight. 2-0. Inside and low, 3-0. So Higdon, struggling with his control tonight, has been pitching from behind a great majority of the time in the now 11 batters that he has faced. This one on the inside corner as Nieto was taking all the way. Runners on first and second, a couple of outs here in the top of the 6th inning with 1 run across, and oh my goodness, Mendoza took one. And the ritual will begin here with the umpire taking some time, walking out to the mound, asking the pitcher, how you doing? How's the wife and kids? Well, maybe not that, but they chit-chat and chatter for a few minutes. The umpire and the catcher generally take pretty good care of each other. And the umpire comes over and wipes off the plate, whether it needed to be wiped off or not, giving Mendoza an opportunity to catch his breath after getting stung there. 3-2 the count. The runners will be off with the pitch. And the pitch is high for another walk. Third walk given up by Higdon here in his 2 innings of work. And that will bring Mike Odom off the bench to talk to his pitcher. Well, the Aztecs choose to make a pitching change, and they'll go to number 13, Alberto Leon, with 2 outs here in the inning. First pitch swinging, and it's going to dump into right center field. That'll score 2. Bases were loaded, and the runners will stop at third. So 2 runs across, 3 total, and that will put the Knights back up ahead as Gustafson, first pitch swinging to the new pitcher, dumped one into right center field, 2 RBI. That sends Nieto around to third base. Next pitch, blasted, smacked right back out to second base, and Michael Seaz grabs the line out, and that will end the inning. But 3 come across in the inning, and after 5.5 innings of play, it is the Rincon Knights 6 and the Aztecs 5. Come see the difference at Goliath Auto Sales. They are the no-pressure used car dealership at 5170 North La Jolla Boulevard in Tucson. John, a recent customer there, sent a letter in saying that it was the most painless deal he had ever had buying a car, and went on to say that he would highly recommend Goliath Auto Sales for value pricing and affordable vehicles. Make sure that you check out Goliath Auto Sales. For the Aztecs to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning will be Anders Mendoza, the catcher, followed by Scott Pringle, who is in the on-deck circle, and Joseph Dicochia, the center fielder. Mendoza struck out in the 2nd inning and got on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Second pitch is outside for a ball, and the count goes 1-1. This one on the inside corner as Benjamin Ty is out there for his second inning of work, not a full inning. He came in and walked the first batter, and then got a line out to Eterius in right field. This one, a high hopper over to get it, and at the last second, Benjamin decides to go ahead and take it himself. So it's unassisted by the pitcher to the first baseman, or to first base, and that's the first out of the inning. Five and a half innings. It is the Knights 6 as they score 3 in the top of the inning, and the Aztecs 5. Way outside to Scott Pringle. Pringle 0 for 2 on the evening. One ball and one strike. Well, they look at first base and they say that Pringle did go around, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one wrapped foul left side. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up with the count staying at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dicochia is in the on-deck circle. Kind of an open stance for Pringle, but he closes it as soon as the pitcher goes. Hopped out to the shortstop, Larson, and he gets it over to first base. Nice hustling play by Alec Larson for the second out of the inning. And that will bring up Dicochia. He grounded out to Alvaro Bennett at third, and then got a walk and scored in the 5th inning. Out the set. Knees outside part of the plate for a strike. Dicochia came into the stadium batting .200. Benjamin Ty to the plate, off-speed pitch, golf towards shortstop, and a little mix-up between the third baseman Barnett and Larson. And I'm not sure who's going to pick up the error on that one. I guess the ball came off the glove of the shortstop. Actually, Barnett needed to cut hard across and grab that ball. What you tell your third baseman is to take anything that they can get to the left no matter what. And the reason for it, obviously, is the fact that the third baseman is moving towards first on a play like that. Quijada makes a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him and keeping the runner Dicochia at first base. Nicholas Aldretti is the hitter. He struck out, but the ball got away from the catcher, and he got to first base in the 3rd inning. And then a base hit and came around to score. Moved to first, not in time. Big swing, doesn't get it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mentioned that Aldretti goes to Eastern New Mexico College. Been there a couple of years. A hopper right out to the shortstop, Larson, who grabs it and kind of backhands it over to second base to get the 6-4 out there. But it is the third out of the inning. And without regard to the fact that Aldretti looks like he got on base with a fielder's choice, it was the last out of the inning. And nothing across here in the bottom of the sixth inning. So after 6 full innings of play, it is the Rincon Knights 6 and the Aztecs 5. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, maybe planning your estate? Well, the personalized services of the Rincon Financial Group is ready to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. Well, the first pitch to greet Alvaro Barnett, the third baseman, is one that is well over his head. So a 1-ball count as the Knights will try to push a few more across, as they got 3 across in this last inning, and they lead it by a score of 6-5. High and away for a ball as we go into the top of the 7th inning here. 3 balls and no strikes. Alberto Leon is out there. He came in last inning, got the last 2. Well, he gave up an RBI single that got 2 of the 3 runs in, and then got a nice play from Michael Seas at second base. Pitches up high, and the first batter gets on with a walk. Never a particularly good sign if you're trying to hold the floodwaters back. Going to have a pinch hitter up here for the Knights. This will be Ivan Gallego. He comes in for the first baseman, Wrigley McGuire, who was 0 for 3, but really not his fault. There were 2 outstanding defensive plays against him that recorded outs. So Gallego takes the first pitch outside for a ball, as Leon has missed on the first 2 pitches here, the first 2 batters getting balls to start things off. Off-speed pitch, fine pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. We've seen Gallego come out and play shortstop, so I'm not sure whether they're going to move a bunch of people around to accommodate that or what's going to go on here. This one hits slowly out to the shortstop, Hakami. He goes to second for 1, and the relay to first base was not in time. So a 6-4 out for the first out of the inning. The runner, Gallego, on first base on a fielder's choice, and that will bring up the next scheduled hitter, Peyton Capullo, the left fielder. Capullo got on an error in the 6th inning and ultimately came around to score. His score was on a 2 RBI base hit by Diego Eterios. First pitch to Capullo is a called strike. He looked at a called strike for the 3rd strikeout in the 3rd inning and got a walk back in the 2nd. This one, a hopper between short and third, and that will be a clean base hit. Hit sharply enough and shallow enough was Pringle that the runner could only get to second base. So runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the seventh inning. And the catcher, Daniel Quijada, will be stepping in there. He's 0 for 3. He got retired on a fine play by Richard Ware at third base in the fourth inning. And around that, struck out in the second and flew out to right field in the sixth inning. First pitch to him is a called strike. So Leon, last two hitters, has got a first pitch strike in. Reaching out and hitting it slowly to the shortstop. Gets it over to first base, and the first baseman couldn't hang on to it. So Hakami, I'm going to guess, will be given an error on that one. Although it was a really fine play, he just couldn't get any mustard on the ball and get it over to first base for the out. So they're loaded up now. And that will bring up Diego Iterias, who has a RBI single. He's been on a two-base error and then was retired on a fine play by the second baseman, Seaz. First pitch to him, high and away for a ball. Bases loaded, 1-0. First and third are in. Second and short looking for the double play. It is bled through the left side. And the second runner coming to the plate, the throw to the plate is offline, and two more will score as Iterias now has 3 RBIs on the evening. And he is resting comfortably at first base. Over to second base is the runner for Quijada. Scoring is Gallego, and also scoring is Caputo. So the Knights add to their one-run lead, and they're now up by 3. And we will have a discussion at the mound to see if we can fix this. We, meaning the Aztecs. Dylan Thomas stepping in there for the Knights. He of University of Mary, that's in Bismarck, North Dakota. So you really have a hard time figuring out how this young man, with the temperature here in Tucson in the mid-90s, could graduate from Sabino High School here in the greater area. He knocks one into right field. Now the runner at third had to hold up to kind of make sure that that ball got through. And the bases are loaded once again. Over at third is the runner for Quijada. At second base is going to be Diego Iterias, who got a 2 RBI base hit. And at first base, Dylan Thomas. That'll bring up Mark Eilis. Eilis, the designated hitter, got a walk and came around to score in the sixth inning. Before that, he struck out and grounded out to the second baseman, Seaz. Breaking pitch, misses down low for a ball. This is the third batter in a row that Leon has not gotten a first pitch strike over, and he's given up a base hit to the previous 2. Inside and low, 2-0. The Knights feel invigorated because of their win last night, a big come-from-behind win. They scored 3 in the 8th and 4 in the 9th to win that thing. And they have their eyes set on 5th position in the league, high and away for a ball. They're probably one of the more vocal benches that we've seen here recently. So nice job kind of finishing things up here. This is the 80th game of an 88-game schedule for the Sun Belt College League. And we will start the playoffs on Monday. Outside corner, Eilis thought that he had a walk there, but the home plate umpire felt differently. It will be the Aztecs against Team Tucson, in one of the semifinal games and B&L Rockets against the Cochise Stars in the other one. Not sure which will be which. I believe the Aztecs will be playing on Monday. This one belted into left field between shortstop and third base, and everybody will move up 90 feet. So an RBI, another one, another base hit. That moves Dylan Thomas over to second base. To third is Diego Atarias. And coming home to score was the runner for Quijada. They put in a courtesy runner for the catchers in this league. 3 are across. We only have 1 out. And we go to the top of the lineup here for Alberto Nieto. Way outside, and that one gets away. So a wild pitch will move everybody up and bring another one home. A wild pitch to Nieto. And that will be a ball for him. 4th run in the inning. Moving over to third will be Dylan Thomas. And to second base, of course, that leaves first base open, will be Mark Eilis. And the Aztecs bring the infield in. Fouled off to the right side, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Alberto Leon came in with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Gave up a base hit that got 2 runs across, even though they were not credited to him. They were credited to Travis Higdon. But he has come in here with a leadoff walk, fielder's choice hit, error on the shortstop, a hit, and the strikeout recorded at the plate for the second out. That will bring up Sam Gustafson. Gustafson was the one that got the base hit against Leon as the first batter to face Leon. That was in the 6th inning, and 2 runners came across. Called strike against Gustafson. Gustafson came into the stadium tonight batting .357 in the stadium. He has 3 consecutive hits, swung on and missed, kind of pulled off, and seems like he's a little annoyed with himself as he walks away from the plate. Last night, Sam did not have a good night. He was 0 for 3, but that's when the Knights began to bring in people off the bench. This one's fouled off. Out of the 6 players that the Knights brought off the bench last night, they got 3 hits, 2 walks, and a sacrifice fly that scored a run. And it was that sacrifice that scored the run that won the game for him 8-7. This one fouled left side. Count will stay 0-2. First base is open. But right now, the Aztecs need to shut this thing down. Now, the Aztecs have an outstanding record of 18-4, but 3 of their losses have come in the stadium here. So they just don't seem to be real comfortable in the stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up, way outside. And we are going to even it up at 2-2. On deck hitter, and the 10th one in this inning is Alec Larson. This one dribbled out towards second base, but Leon will get over and underhand it to the first baseman Escarriga, and that will record the 3rd out of this, the top of the 7th inning. But 4 come across, and the Knights expand their lead after 6.5 innings of play. The Knights 10 and the Aztecs 5. Your Jimmy John restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich quickly and easily when you stop by. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by the store, or if it's more convenient, order online at jimmyjohns.com. Well, the Aztecs will try to get the ship righted here after 4 came across in the top of the 7th inning, and that pushed the Aztecs down by a 10-5 count. First pitch is inside to the leadoff hitter, Michael Sayas, the second baseman. He's got 1 hit in 3 times at bat. A fine play retired him in the 5th by the shortstop, Alec Larson. And the second pitch is a ball. Benjamin Ty still on the mound for the Knights. And that one was at the knees for a called strike. Ty came in the bottom of the 5th inning. First batter, he gave up a walk. Next one is a strike, 2-2. And then he got a line out to right field to Eterius. And then in the 6th inning, didn't give up any runs. So this is his second inning of work. Nice job. Ball goes past Alec Larson. Thought he had gotten it, but he did not. So a base hit squirts past Larson at shortstop. So the Aztecs, if they gave him a hit, there should be 7 hits up there, but there are not. So it must be a second error or a third error. So it is an error on the shortstop, and that brings up Jacob Hakami, the shortstop for the Aztecs. Last time he was up, he got a base hit and drove 2 across. That was in the 5th inning. Before that, he struck out in the 1st and flew out to left field. First pitch to him, a strike. This one fouled off to the right side, so Hakami is in the hole, 0-2. Came into the stadium tonight batting .321. Hakami, one of the 19 players on this Aztecs team that play for Pima Community College. He's a 2017 graduate of La Servia High School in the greater Tucson area. 0-2, nobody out, a runner on first on an error. This one fisted out towards the shortstop. Larson has no choice but to go to first base, and the throw is offline. The first baseman unable to grab a hold of it, and they will throw the ball to home, and that will hold everything up. So I'm going to guess that they're going to ticket Mr. Larson with another error unless they feel that the first baseman might have been able to grab a hold of that. Still do not see anything come up on the scoreboard. Yeah, they do. First baseman they give the error to. Felt that the ball was there and that he could have caught it. So runners on first and second. And Richard Ware up there outside for a ball. Ware flew out to left field his last time up. This one a high hopper out to Larson at short. He doesn't know quite what to do with it. Throws it to first, and it is safe. Well, he thought about coming home there for a second. And we're going to see whether they rack up an error on that one without regard to that. Michael Sayas comes home from third, and that moves Hakami around to third. Still have not put anything up on the board. The throw was right on. For a second, Larson thought he was going to go home. And by the time he decided that he better go to first, it was a slow hit ball. The runner had gotten to first, and that is an error for the shortstop. So 3 errors, 2 by the shortstop, 1 by the first baseman. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Runners on first and third with Alex Kelch up to bat. Kelch a base hit, a walk, and flew out to left field. Big swing by him. 0-1 the count now, as Benjamin Ty's defense has really let him down here. Knights got 4 in the top of the inning. They've given 1 of those back already. And things need to tighten up if the Knights are going to hang in there. Second pitch on the outside part of the plate. Nice pitch. That's one of the things that a batter needs to really concentrate on. If you've got that ball on the outside part of the plate, you have got to step and go to right field. And that's something young hitters really have a hard time with. 0-2. Tried to catch that outside corner, got a groan from the Knights dugout as they have drawn the attention of the base umpire, Justin Atencio, a couple of times. He kind of glanced over there when he heard the groan. 1 ball and 2 strikes, throw to first, nothing going on there. So the Aztecs have a history in the league of giving up runs early and then coming back. Well, they did that. Came back and then gave up 3 in the top of the 6th inning. This one belted, just foul left side. They gave up 3 in the top of the 6th and 4 in the top of the 7th. They've gotten 1 back here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 10-6 is our score. Bottom of the 7th inning. Benjamin Ty on the mound. He came in the bottom of the 5th inning and got the final out of the inning. Catcher sets up on the outside corner. This one fouled back. Count will remain 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Not much of a lead at first, and of course at third they're just kind of hanging close there. The runner at first started to go. The ball was in the dirt, and that'll score another one. Count is even now at 2-2. Coming down from third is Hakami on the wild pitch with Alex Kelcher up. The runner at first goes to second. And the count is at 2-2. Still nobody out. This one fisted on a soft fly ball to the shortstop, Larson. And he is probably relieved that he got a hold of the ball without too much problem. And that is the first out of the inning. Runner still at second base, 2 across. And our score is 10-7. And the batter is Chris Dunn. Dunn came in for Alex Bustamante, who had been ejected on a play at second base. Not exactly sure what was said or why. He was in there safely, but he had something to say to the base umpire, and that got him booted. This one hit to left field, just to the right of Larson at shortstop. They'll send the runner from third base, and the play at second base gets away and goes into shallow right field. The runner over there, Dunn, starts to get up and go, but he decided to think better of it. You don't want to make they only have 1 out. I suppose you could have tried it, but don't want to make the third out is what I was about to say at third base, but that would not have been the third out. Frankly, Richard Ware being sent around from third was a bit of a gamble, but the outfielder, Nieto, did not come up with the ball cleanly, and that wound up costing him a run. Might have gotten the play at the plate. So we will see what happens here as we have another conference on the mound about pitchers. Joe Comayera, the manager for the Knights, with a slow kind of doggone it to heck and gone as he comes off from the mound. He had a commanding 10-4 lead, and it has disintegrated with 3 runs coming across here. And the batter is the first baseman, Sal Escariga. Sal is 1 for 3 tonight. First pitch to him is a ball. Down in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. The runner will move up to third as he went over to second base on the throw, and to third now with a pass ball. Escariga has a 2-ball count, 2-0. Still only 1 out in the inning. This one bashed into left field, and that'll score another one. Boy, I tell you what, the Aztecs are never out of a ball game, that is for sure. An RBI single brings home Chris Dunn. That will be the 4th run of the inning. And that exactly counteracts the 4 runs that the Knights got in the top of the 7th inning. Outside corner for a call strike to Ander Mendoza, the catcher. Inside for a ball. Looks like we have a pinch hitter up there. No, it's Anders Mendoza. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouled off at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we have 3 consecutive errors to start the inning. 2 by the shortstop and 1 by the first baseman. Then a soft flyout and then an RBI base hit. This is the 7th hitter in the 7th position. Anders Mendoza, the catcher, and he is bouncing it back through the middle. A seeing eye base hit to center field. And that will put runners on first and second now. And Mendoza more than likely will come out for a courtesy runner here. In the league, they switch out when a catcher is on base. We'll see if somebody heads out to give him a rest there. Scott Pringle, donut tonight, 0 for 3. Hit the ball sharply in the 2nd inning and then grounded out and popped out since then. Here we go with a pinch runner. Coming out for the Aztecs will be Angel Ochoa once again. He pinch ran for Mendoza back in the, the 4th inning. So coming up there will be the batter, Pringle, left field tonight. Ochoa, the runner on first. Escariga, who has surprising speed actually for a big man. First pitch is a ball, as Benjamin has had a tough time finding the plate at the appropriate times. First pitch ball. This one hit right through that 5.5 hole between third and short. But up to get it is Capullo. Base hit, and everybody moves up 90 feet. The runner for Mendoza, Ochoa, will go to second base. And moving down to third will be Escariga. And with 1 out, he is definitely a threat to tag up on a fly ball. The batter is the center fielder, Joseph Discochia. He got on an error in the 6th inning, as the shortstop Larson has had a rough night. First pitch swinging, ball outside, and he missed it. Discochia walked in the 5th inning and grounded out to the third baseman Barnett. That was in the 3rd inning. 4 are across, 1 out, and a 1-run differential here. This one hit to right, and it's going to get down, and that's going to score 2. The right fielder comes up with it, a real strong throw to the plate, but not nearly in time. So a 2 RBI base hit for Discochia, and the Aztecs go back in front. Escariga scores from third base, and coming around from second base was Ochoa running for Mendoza. The runner on first, Pringle, made it around to third. And the hitter is Nicholas Aldrete. Aldrete, a base hit in 3 times up. First pitch, a ball, as the Aztecs are really thumping that pill around. The runner goes from first and steals second on a strike call at the plate. So a stolen base for Dicochea. And 2 runners in scoring position. Six across. It's 11-10 in favor of the Aztecs. They were down 10-5 going into this inning. Nice curveball catches that inside corner for a called strike. They do have somebody warming up in the Knights bullpen. To the plate, sliced into right field, 2 more. Another strong throw by Eterius, but not nearly in time. And a 2 RBI base hit, as the Aztecs have really rolled out the big guns here. It's like they toy with you through several innings, and all of a sudden they think, okay, that's enough of this garbage, and they start pounding the ball around the lot. 8 across, 13-10 now. Ball down low to the 10th hitter in this lineup. 10 coming to the plate here. Michael Sayas is back up. He got on an error by the shortstop as the leadoff hitter in the inning. An inning that saw the Knights leading at 10-5. They're now behind 13-10. Fouled off to the right side and into the stands. 1 ball and 1 strike. Do have a pitcher warming up out in the Knights bullpen, but it looks like it is Benjamin Ty's deal to get through the inning at least. This one fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sayas got a base hit to lead off the game, and then has 2 consecutive outs. One, an outstanding play by Larson, who has had his troubles tonight in the field, but on that particular play looked real good. This one hit out to the second baseman. He gets it over to second base for 1 and back to first base for a double play, and that will end the inning. However, 9,472 runs came across. So what do we got? We got 8 runs across for 13, and after 7 full innings of play, it is the Aztecs 13 and the Knights 10. The Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen HD TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening to the tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay. Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Well, a new pitcher in the lineup for the Aztecs. It's Angel Ochoa. And his first batter that he will face will be Alec Larson, who is probably dying for a base hit, lifts one into center field, first pitch swinging, and it is gathered up by Dicochea. Larson had a very, very weak seventh inning, 2 errors, and I'm sure the young man wanted to come out and do something there. Third baseman Alvaro Barnett stepping in. Alvaro, a double, first pitch swinging, lifts one off to the right side. A double hit by the pitch, ground out to shortstop twice, so he is 1 for 3 tonight. And Angel Ochoa is the 4th pitcher used by the Aztecs, as they really look like they were on the ropes there, being behind 10-5, but 8 in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch goes high. 2 balls and a strike. Ivan Gallego is the on-deck hitter. Ochoa rocks and fires at the knees for a called strike. And we got deuces on the board, 2-2, 1 out. Top of the 8th inning. The Knights look like they were going to have 2 miracle finishes in a row. This one swung on and missed, and that will be a strikeout for Ochoa. 7th strikeout of the game against the Rincon Knights. Levi White had 5. Higdon had 1. Leon did not have any, and Ochoa now has 1. Gallego, the hitter, fouls it off to the right side. This is one time, quite frankly, that you want to take a lot of pitches before you start swinging, because you need base runners to get past that 3-run deficit high and inside for a ball. 13-10, top of the 8th inning, as the Aztecs score 11 in the last 2 innings. Outside corner for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Aztecs have 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and 8 in the 7th. Rides up high, 2-2, second time in a row with a 2-2 count for Ochoa. Angel plays shortstop a lot of times when he's in the lineup. The reason he was not in the lineup tonight is because he has quite a few at-bats. Late swing and a strikeout. 3 up, 3 down, and that will end the top of the 8th inning. Nothing across, and after 7.5 innings of play, it is the Aztecs 13 and the Knights 10. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire store in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in-store. There are 5 locations: 7950 East Speedway, 4800 block of East Sunrise, 290 West Wetmore Road, 3501 East Broadway, and the 2400 block of North First. Well, anywhere you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not be disappointed. Bottom of the 8th inning we go. And the leadoff hitter is Jacob Hakami. Got to move things over on the scorecard here, because we had 11 batters come around in the 7th inning. Hakami has a 1-1 count now. 2 balls and a strike. Hakami was the second hitter in the 7th inning and got on an error after the leadoff hitter had gotten on an error, and then the third batter got on an error, and the floodgates opened after that. 8 runs across in the 7th inning for the Aztecs as the count goes to 3-1. This one, left center field, well over the hop of Jacob Hakami, and the leadoff base hit. Leadoff runner is on, and that's what started things off in the 7th inning. Richard Ware is the hitter. Ware was the third player to get on in that 7th inning. Before that, he flew out to left, walked, and flew out to center. So he is 0 for 4 on the night, but he scored twice. He did get a walk in the 4th inning and come around and score at that time. On the knees for a called strike. Angel Ochoa, the 4th pitcher used by the Aztec. Check that. He is the 4th pitcher used by the Rincon Knights. And it is not Ochoa. Oh, my goodness sakes. We will take a look and see who that is out there. It is still Benjamin Ty. This one, right center field and high. Over to get it is the right fielder, Eterius, and he gathers it in for the out. Ochoa is the pitcher for the Aztecs. They had 3 up, 3 down so quick I didn't turn my card over there. So this is Benjamin Ty on the mound. Richard Ware just flying out for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. Alex Kelch will come up. Throw to first, not in time. Kelch has a base hit in 3 at-bats, 4 plate appearances. Got a walk in the 4th and came around and scored. Last time up, he popped out to Larson at shortstop. First pitch, a strike. So lightning has struck in the 7th inning for the Aztecs as they plate 8 after being down 10-5. Kind of a half-hearted throw to first base. Not a time when you're down by 3 to worry too much about the base runner. Need to get the hitter, preferably a ground ball. Well, got the ground ball, but it went between first and second. Hit pretty sharply, and Eterios, who has a fine arm, came in to get a hold of it and get it back into the infield. 2 hits given up in this inning. That will send Hakami over to second base. Kelch is at first. And the hitter will be Chris Dunn. Dunn got an RBI single in that 8-run 7th inning, and he promptly steps up there and wraps one into right field. And that will bring another run in. So Hakami scores from second base, and Dunn now with 2 RBIs in 2 at-bats. And the Aztecs go up by 1 more, 14-10. Now last night, the Knights came into the 9th inning down by 4, so I can't say that they can't do it. But admittedly, they are not last night up against the leading team in the league. This is Sal Escarriga. Got a RBI single his last time up. First pitch to him is a ball. This one, high hopper to third, grabbed by Barnett, gets it over to first after checking the runners, and that will be the second out of the inning, 5-3. First pitch to Anders Mendoza, who's the catcher, is a called strike. He got a base hit in that base-thumping 7th inning with 8 across for the Aztecs. Waits on a breaking pitch and fouls it off to the left side. And Mendoza is behind 0-2. He's 1 for 4 on the night. This is his 5th plate appearance. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. With the Knights behind, waves at one outside, and it is a called or a swinging third strike. So nothing across. I should take that back. One more across in the 8th inning, and after 8 full innings of play, it's the Aztecs 14 and the Knights 10. When you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at East 22nd and Calm. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they are there to satisfy. Chewy's at 22nd Street is open until 10 o'clock weeknights and Sundays, until 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, the funky decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Calm. Well, a little bit of a dance up there at home plate for the Rincon Knights and their last opportunity here in the top of the 9th inning. The batter is Peyton Capullo, and he starts things off with a base hit up the middle. And I want to tell you, last night they were down by 4 and came back. Well, now they're down by 4 again. And that will bring up Daniel Quijada, the catcher. Quijada got on an error by the shortstop in the 7th inning and came around to score. When the Knights scored 4 in the 7th, they had scored 3 in the 6th and had a 10-5 lead. First pitch to Quijada is a called strike. He is 0 for 4, but been on base that one time with the error and came around to score. This one hit sharply, center field, drifting back for it is Dicochea, and he gets back there and grabs it for the out. First out of the top of the 9th inning, and the last opportunity for the Knights. Diego Eterius steps in there, and he has really appointed himself very well tonight. The last 2 at-bats, he has collected 3 RBIs with base hits. Got on an error in the 4th, and a spectacular play in the 2nd inning by the second baseman Seas was the one that retired him there. But after getting on the error in the 4th inning, he's got 2 consecutive base hits and 3 RBI. Down low for a ball, 1 ball, check that, 2 balls and no strikes. Runner at first is Campullo. Has a relatively decent lead there. Certainly don't want to hit into a double play here. Breaking pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike. Diego on his way to Benedictine University in the greater Phoenix area. He just graduated from Sabino High School in May of this year. This one inside and made him flinch again. Both times, Diego thought the ball was inside, and both times, home plate umpire rang him up. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now, 1 out, 1 run on, and he kind of half swings at one. The ball gets away from the catcher, but you cannot advance. However, the runner goes to second, Capullo, on the strikeout by Eterios. If there had been nobody on first, he could have run. That happened earlier in the game, not for him, but for one of the other players. And that will bring up a pinch hitter for the Knights. This is Kenneth Markle. Well, the scoreboard looks like it's 27. Called strike. Could be 29. Get the glasses on it and take a closer look. We have so many lights out on the scoreboard. It is really a problem. It is 29. So that is Dominic Erickson. Swung on, and he is in the hole 0-2. Erickson last night was 0 for 4, so has not had a particularly good record here in the stadium. Runner on second base, 0-2 is the count. Alex Kelsch is the pitcher here for the Aztecs. He is the 5th pitcher that they have used. They started with White, went to Higdon, then to Leon, Ochoa, and now Kelch. Right down to the first baseman, leans down and grabs it. Escarilla takes it on his own, and that will be the final out of the ball game. So it certainly looked like the Knights had an opportunity to maybe get all the way up to 5th spot, but they were ahead 10-5 and wound up having a horrendous 7th inning, giving up 8 runs there. And they come out on the short end of a 14-10 count. Looking at the scores, and unfortunately our system has frozen up, so the last thing that we knew, the Tucson Champs were leading the BNL Rockets 8-7 in the 6th inning, and in the 6th inning it was the Stars over the Kings by an 8-5 count. Kind of interesting, the BNL Rockets were down 7-0 to the Champs, but the Rockets came up with 7 runs along the way somewhere and now only trail by 1. Last report in the 6th inning. Well, that about does it from the stadium here. We'll recap the scoring very quickly for you. As things started off with the Rincon Knights, they drew first blood in the top of the 2nd inning with 1 run. They gave that run back in the bottom of the 2nd, and it was tied after 2, 1-1. Then the Knights came back with 2 in the top of the 3rd inning and made that stand up through the bottom of the 4th when the Aztecs got 2. And the score after 4 full was 3-2 in favor of the Knights. But then the Aztecs got 2 in the 5th, and at the end of 5, it was 5-3. Then we went to the 6th inning, and the Knights woke up and got 3, but gave 3 back in the bottom of the inning, and it was 8-6. Then with 4 runs for the Knights in the 7th inning, they were really sitting in tall clover ahead by a score of 10-5. But as I mentioned, that horrendous 7th inning, several errors, walks, and base hits, and the Aztecs scored 8. So at the end of 7, it was 13-10. The Aztecs added 1 in the 8th inning to make it 14-10, and that's where it ended up here in the Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. So I'm not going to worry about trying to figure out what the standings are because we have no idea what happened on the south fields as our scoring system has once again let us down. But we will look forward to the next evening and what's going on there, as we find that tomorrow evening we will have the Aztecs and the Cochise Stars. The Stars at one time were threatening to get into first place, but the Aztecs beat them in a head-to-head battle, and since that time the Stars have dropped to 13-8 against, as coming into this game, the Aztecs were 18-4. Now they're 19-4. The other games scheduled for tomorrow will be the BNL Rockets and Team Tucson and the Rincon Knights and the Old Pueblo Kings. Well, that does it. Final wrap-up here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. For the Knights, it was 10 runs, 12 hits, and 4 errors. Those errors did hurt them. And the Aztecs came back and won it 14-10. They had 14 runs on 15 hits and 3 errors. But the 7th inning was error-filled. There were 4 errors racked up by the Knights in that inning, and that's what really got to them. Final score from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, 14-10 in favor of the Aztecs. And that will do it from Alan Scott saying good night. Hope to see you tomorrow evening at 6:50 when we will be here for the game between the Aztecs and the Cochise Stars.